and endure the pain and suffering of the people of Southern Cameroon. The people have the right and privilege to decide who should be their neighbor, who they can live with, and that should be recognized. The Biafran question is contrary to the question of the people of Southern Cameroon. The Biafran question did not exist when the Nigeria was tendered at the United Nations headquarters by the British administrative authority. The Biafran question is not. But they have the privilege, the right and freedom when there is an eminent question that there is a threat by the dominant central government. But the people of Southern Cameroon is not in the same categories of questions. The people of Southern Cameroon is a people of its independence that have the right, the most democratic society in entire West Africa. Those that are using a democratic form of government are just emerging within the 1980s and 90s. But Southern Cameroon has enjoyed a sound democratic form of government in the 50s and 60s when an elected official transferred power from one elected official to the next without any fighting, without any war, but it was a friendly gesture. And the other agreed to become member of the oppositions. Whereas today we don't have. In fact, let's look for the economic potential while La Republic is gluing onto Southern Cameroon. Mineral deposit. The mineral deposit is what is gluing La Republic in Southern Cameroon. The mineral deposit. That is the potential that La Republic is gluing onto the people of Southern Cameroon. The sonara that you have, that France, the engineer that French citizen, the general labor are La Republic citizens. The drainage, they are all La Republic. And citizens of the Southern Cameroon has no benefit of Sonora. The citizens of Southern Cameroon has no benefit of Sonora. And that is why they grew onto the people cannot elect officials. That is what the principal reason why La Republic doesn't accept the people of Southern Cameroon to elect their officials. Because they want their appointed officials to detect and decide on behalf of the people of Southern Cameroon. They want them to detect and decide on behalf of them. That is why they appointed divisional officers, they appointed governors, they appointed all those officials to detect what the people of Southern Cameroon should listen. Because when you elect your officials, the officials is answering to the people of Southern Cameroon. But when you appoint officials, those appointed officials are answering to the signature of the appointees. And that is why La Republic is more glued to the people of Southern Cameroon with appointed officials. They deny any form of democratic form of government because they know that they have no privilege in whatever soever in Southern Cameroon territory. If an election was conducted, free and fair election, they have a certain individual that has been glued to the system. They have a certain individual that has been glued to the system. And that is why they undermine the fundamental goodness of the people of Southern Cameroon. Fellow brothers and sisters, I want to let you know that we are at war. At the moment, we are at war. And the enemy is La Republic de Cameroon. We have to face it. We are at war. And the enemy is La Republic. We must fight. Any potential La Republic that is in Southern Cameroon are enemy of Southern Cameroon. And so therefore they have no legal authority. And from now and henceforth, any person of La Republic in Southern Cameroon should be arrested and be tried in Southern Cameroon. This is a fact because we have the world community has ignored the reality. The world community has ignored the reality. If the world community respect the truth, let's answer the truth. Decolonization should have been fully implemented. Decolonization should have been fully implemented. The British authority ignored the fact. Why would the British administrative authority choose to hand over Southern Cameroon to a foreign nation? and deprive the people of Southern Cameroon. So that is why I am saying any citizen of La Republic that is in Southern Cameroon should be arrested. And anyone, any gendarmerie, police, any citizen of La Republic that is currently in Southern Cameroon is a persona non grata in Southern Cameroon. Let the world respect the truth. Let the world come to the table and respect the truth. There should be no fundamental bias. There should be no fundamental bias. Why would the United Nations not respect its own law? Why would the United Nations sit on its own law and not respect the law they implemented? If the law is implemented, then they should respect it. If the decolonization should have been fully implemented, let it be fully implemented and respect it as it is. Let it respect it. If decolonization is what the law says, then let the United Nations respect the law and let fully implement it and ask La Republic immediately to get out of Southern Cameroon. The world are fighting. They're not fighting because they intended to fight. They're fighting because of injustice that the world imposed upon the sovereign indigenous territory, because they choose their own personal interest over the interest of the people that they want. The people should have the privilege and right and be able to choose whom they have to live with. And that should be recognized and fully implemented. But unfortunately, the British government won't. The British government is the problem of the people of Southern Cameroon. Because while we are speaking, guess what? The British government are interested in the natural gas exploitation. The British government are interested in the natural gas exploitation, and they believe that it's going to generate revenue to the British government and the neighboring country, La Republic du Cameroon. And yet the people of Southern Cameroon, it doesn't matter to them. It doesn't. One will expect them to think about, what about the indigenous people whom they live in that particular territory? Of course, it doesn't matter to them. So long as the British interest is concerned, the people of indigenous is none of their priorities. I expect the British government to stand up and respect what the injustice they inflicted upon their colonial rule, and then let the people stand up and say no to injustice to the British government. British government, enough is enough. 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 The mineral deposit is what is more interested. The mineral deposit is what is more interested to the British Crown than the indigenous people. La Republic will appoint his governors. La Republic will appoint them, and guess who they appoint? The French officials, so they can control and repress, and they appointed their officials so that they can carry up an impressed system of government against the indigenous, and they have their military wing that are in line with the colonial system and that inflict upon the pain and suffering of the people of Southern Cameroon. And that is what France is interested on. We are in an era that we have to stand up and say no to colonialism, no to third world. Why does the British believe that the people of Southern Cameroon must live under the umbrella of a foreign nation, La Republic du Cameroon? La Republic du Cameroon has its own territory, and that territory is specified at the United Nations boundaries. La Republic territory is specified at the United Nations boundaries. Southern Cameroon is not part of the territory as specified. And so if that is true, then why is La Republic being forced upon the people of Southern Cameroon? The people of Southern Cameroon are educated, they're intelligent, they have knowledge, they're well educated, they've been in school, they know what they need and they know what they want. Why should they believe that La Republic should impose upon their will upon the sovereign people of Southern Cameroon, rather than them deciding the future and the destiny of their own people? Why? Why do the British government? Why? Why do the British government believe that only La République can manage the people of Southern Cameroon and the people of Southern Cameroon cannot manage itself? It never shouldn't have happened in the first place. That the British government, on a false assumption that the people of Southern Cameroon must live under the umbrella of a foreign nation, La République du Cameroon, and that they have inability to be able to manage their own resources, but they have to depend. When the British administrative authority during the Enugu House of Assembly, when the elected officials of the Southern Cameroon, they debate about the issues affecting Southern Cameroon. Why in this era do the British believe that the people of Southern Cameroon should live under a foreign appointed officials of a foreign nation, La République du Cameroon? Fellow brothers and sisters, I want to assure you that we are at war. We are at war, and that any La République citizen in Southern Cameroon, whether in any form, once you pick them up, package them and send back to La République in a totally different form. That is what it should be, and that is what is going to continue, and that is what the people of Southern Cameroon has stood for, that any person of La République in Southern Cameroon, once picked up, should be packaged and sent back to La République in a different format. And that is how we're going to deal with it. Because since we have stood for the truth, and that let's stand for the truth, but the world decided to choose the wrong. So therefore, let's choose the wrong, because the wrong is the most important than the standing for the truth. Because if we were to stand for the truth, then Article 1608 and Part B 76B and 1514 XV, we should have respected. And if all of us should have respected, then we would have been equal. But unfortunately, they choose it wrong, and that they stand over wrong. And since they stand over wrong, let's go over wrong. Because we must stand. We must fight. Fight is the right thing to do. Because when you stand for the truth, they ignore the fact of truth. And since they choose the wrong, let's stand for the wrong. And then let's prepare for it. Fight the war. Today is war, period. Fellow citizens of Southern Cameroon, we are together in this business. The world has turned against the truth. And since they turn against the truth, they want that war should be able to apply